Former Gauteng Health MEC Qedani Mahlangu is expected to make her highly anticipated appearance at the Life Esidimeni Arbitration hearings in Johannesburg today. On Friday, the Deputy Director for Mental Health Services in Gauteng, Hannah Jacobus, said Mahlangu made the decision to terminate the department's long-standing contract with Life Esidimeni. This forced mentally ill patients to be taken to ill-equipped NGOs where 143 of them subsequently died. For more on this, let's cross to Griselda Lewis. Griselda, what time is it expected that the MEC is going to be taking that particular hot seat?
Well, Ian, your guess is just as good as mine with regard to when Qedani Mahlangu will arrive here, but we're expecting that to be just very shortly before the hearings do get underway this morning. We're expecting her to be accompanied by senior officials and perhaps, with much anticipation at this stage. As you can see behind me, Leanne, most of the family members have already started arriving now and are waiting with much anticipation to hear what Qedani Mahlangu will say to these hearings about why she carried out this deadly project. You'd know, of course, that many fingers have been pointed towards Qedani Mahlangu throughout these hearings since last year. And you'd recall, of course, that these families were hoping that the closure would come in December last year when she was scheduled to take the stand. But that did not happen. And they are saying they're hoping, as they usher in this new year, that they will get the answers and the closure that they have been waiting for. Let's speak now to one of the family members, Christine Ngumalo, who lost her loved one as well in this tragedy. Christine, thank you very much for your time this morning. Much anticipated. You as family members have been waiting for this for a very long time.
Yes, we're very anxious. I think some of us didn't really have much of a weekend because we're nervous. You know, we're nervous because we were worried that she might not come. Two, we're thinking there might be other legal things or reasons, very much like Manamela did. So we hope it's anxiety whether she would come, firstly, and secondly, it would be, is she going to tell us anything that we need to know?
You as family members, what questions in particular would you want her to answer here today and throughout the week as she takes the stand?
I think the most important that has come through, and I think over the weekend after reflecting, is why did it have to happen? And why did it have to happen so quickly? What was the need for the rush of the project? The families were not against the deinstitutionalization, but the problem was in the manner at which it was done. It still begs the question why? Why did it have to happen so quickly? And why the deadline that she had put forward?
As family members, what would you want to see? I don't really want to jump the gun, but what would you want to see? We've seen quite a lot of blame shifting throughout the arbitration hearings, and many of the senior officials pointing fingers in the majority towards the now resigned Dr. Mahabo Manamela, as well as the former Gauteng Health MEC Qedani Mahlangu. Would you want, perhaps as family members, some sense of accountability or even responsibility from her, given that she was the head of the department when the tragedy occurred?
It would actually be very nice to see her humble herself. To date, we haven't seen that from her. And secondly, to take responsibility that she was the MEC at the time, so there must be some form of, I acknowledge that I was the MEC, hence certain things come with my being an MEC. And also, when I say humble herself, I mean show a little respect, for those who lost. Even those who are living, they're still suffering. Some of them are still not well. So if she can come with that attitude, I think she might get the respect of the families. Right now, we're worried that she's going to come in with the same attitude that she's always been putting forward.
Christine, we don't have much time. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the families cannot speak too much on the hearing themselves, but certainly said they would be able to share a bit of how they're feeling here this morning. And certainly what we've seen throughout this process here, Leanne, is that many family members had said that when Qedani Mahlangu had been scheduled to testify at these hearings and that when she didn't, that really did display a sense of arrogance on her part, which is something that came across in these hearings since last last year, when the family members said throughout the consultation with Qedani Mahlangu, before the transfer process had begun and when patients started dying, that she had displayed some kind of arrogance, and they're hoping that today she will take some kind of responsibility and accountability for what happened under her watch.
Thanks very much, Griselda Lewis. We'll continue to get updates from Griselda, but we can see the room filling up with both journalists, cameras, and certainly the family members wanting to hear that testimony. Well, I suppose when you come to a hearing, it's just hearing their side of the story, and that is the former MEC of Health here in Gauteng, Qedani Mahlangu.